Well, good morning, folks. What we have here is a small block LA motor, Chrysler Products, small block 340 distributor. And what we're trying to do here is make something like this. Now this is an old Chrysler Hemi 331 distributor. You can see that's pretty well chewed up. I don't know if we can get it in here, but basically there we go. Yeah, you can see that. You can see that the length here is not the same. It's just too short. This new LA Motors or LA Chrysler distributor is too short, about 1/4 of an inch for a 331, a little more for 392. Here's another distributor. I buy these things new and I modify them to fit late model or early Hemis. What this video is about, this is a distributor here, and what we're going to do is cut that shaft off there. Here's an adapter that I sell, and it goes over the shaft, and it's drilled, and we pin this to the right length, so it'll be the same as one of the old distributors. So the first thing we have to do is cut this shaft off here. Now you can do this a couple ways. Obviously something like this is much easier and faster. We can just whack it off there. You can do this with a hacksaw. This is not real tough steel or anything, but we're just basically going to cut this off. I'm going to use this cutoff tool here, and I'm just going to cut this off to this length. That's all there is to it. Now these adapters are machined and honed to 1/2 inch. See, this one will go right over that shaft there very easily. I just tap it on. Yeah, let me get it cleaned up a little, and I'll slide it on. Now I thought I would just give you the whole sequence here. Here's an adapter that's been machined on the end. What I'm going to do is use this center drill here. I'm going to drill a hole in it. I've just turned the lathe on. I'm just going to feed this in here and make sure I got a hole started exactly in the center. This takes a few seconds. Now this steel is drill rod. It's a very high carbon steel. You can hear it cutting there. It's not real easy to cut. But there's our piece with a center hole in it, and then we're going to use a couple more drill bits and expand that hole out. Okay, here's our next step. I'm just feeding a drill into this piece here, just to open it up. So our last drill that we're going to put in it is pretty close to 1/2 inch. Use plenty of oil on it. Like I said, this stuff is drill rod. It's very hard, high carbon steel. So anyway, this is just a matter of drilling this out to the depth that we want, and then we'll use the next biggest drill bit. Alright, ordinarily I would use a size just a little under 1/2 inch, and then use a hone that is exactly 1/2 inch. A hone looks like this, and that will precisely cut it to 1/2 inch. But we need just a little bit over 1/2 inch to give us a little room so it's not so hard to get on there. So what we're going to do is use this precision drill bit. These things are kind of expensive, but they work really good. And we just feed Mr. Bit in. To the depth that we're going to need it. Notice it's cutting really good, same size chip coming out of both sides. Just clean it up, use a little oil on it to keep things cool, and that's how we drill out the adapter. Alright, our hole is drilled. This is the reamer. You can see it fits in there just right. This makes an exact 1/2 inch hole, and we've got it depth enough there to about 1 inch, I believe. Yeah, 1 inch is good enough for what we need. And now we're going to put that on a shaft and drill it. Alright, we stick our adapter on here. Notice it fits over it perfectly well. It's a little loose. I've got maybe 1/2 thousandths or something play, which is plenty good mechanically. But what we need to do is be able to tighten this up so it will hold onto the shaft, and I'm going to show you how I do that. Now there's a couple ways we can do this. We can either just take a little hammer here, and we can either flatten this this hole in the adapter out, just make it a little bit oblong so it'll fit on here real tight, or we can take put the shaft itself on a piece of metal like this, and then take our ball peen hammer and just peen the end here a little bit, so we actually make the shaft a little bigger in a couple places so it'll stick. But I don't like to pound on a distributor. It's much easier just to go ahead and take the adapter here and give it a little whack. It shouldn't take too much. Yeah, see, just that little bit right there was enough to bend it where I have to tap it on. Now the next thing we're going to do is make it to the right length. Now this is the easiest way I've found to put one of these things on here. There's a lot of ways. What I've done, I've just set a square here at 4.5 inches, which this is particular ones for 392. So all I'm doing is just tapping this thing on. And check it with my square. Actually, I can just bump it with my square. I got about 1/8 of an inch, 1/16. I'm very close. Just a little more. Alright. That's good enough there. Just a little bit too short, it's not so bad. A little too long, it might interfere. But anyway, this is basically right now exactly 4.5 inches long from the mounting surface of where the distributor goes into the block to the end of the tank. Now this is on here pretty tight, so I can move it if I want to, but I don't want to. It's on there pretty pretty snug. Next thing I'm going to do is drill a hole right through the adapter and straight on through the shaft. Now I'm going to show you a couple variants. Here's my center drill again. This is a special 90-degree end piece that I've got here in the lathe. This will keep it exactly center. All I'm going to do with this center drill is just start a little hole in it right now. I've got the lathe running here. I'll just feed it in a little bit. I'm not going to try to drill the whole shaft. Alright. So all I've done is just start a little hole. If I used a different bit here, I could put a bit in this end and drill all the way through this, which is what I do sometimes. I just drill the shaft and the adapter all in one piece. So if you've got a lathe or something like that, you can do that, but in this particular case I'm going to try to do it in a drill press with a little different setup, in case that's what you have as a drill press. Alright, here's one way to do this. I've got a V block here in the lathe. This is actually just a carriage stop, but it has a 90-degree V in it for the lathe. I've got it here in the drill press. All I do is, I've got it set for exact center. All I would do is line it up and drill my hole. Unfortunately, I can't do that with one hand. I have to hold the distributor here and drill it with the other, so I'll turn the camera off and drill a hole and give you a look. Alright, we have it drilled. Now, I used plenty of oil on it. If you've already got if you got an adapter with a hole drilled in it already, you just try to line the hole up. If you don't have an adapter, or you can only, actually it's best for to only have one hole, because unless you can drill exactly in the same spot and have a pretty good setup with a lathe or a good drill press, it's hard to drill something in exactly the same spot. It's better just to have one hole and let it come out like it will. So now all I'm going to do is check this. It looks like we're just a little under 4.5, which would be fine. It must have moved just a tad when I was drilling it, maybe 20 thousandths or something. I'll check it again once I put in the roll pin. Alright, there we go. Mr. Roll Pin is driven in. I just need to clean some of the oil off of it. And let me just check this again one more time for depth. Yeah, that looks perfect. Yeah, maybe 20 thousandths too short, which is fine. We've got plenty of tang in here. So that's how you would install an adapter on a shaft. If for some reason during this you made a mistake, you could just take the pin out and rotate here's another adapter. Just rotate an adapter around, move it, say if it's too short like that, just move it that way. Make sure you drill a shaft opposite or perpendicular to where the roll pin was drilled in error. But anyway, that's how you would install an adapter on a 340 mopar shaft. You can either drill this with a lathe, or you know, we could obviously drill it in a bench press, something like that. If you've got a good V-block and you were careful, you could drill this pretty straight with just a hand drill and some care and time. How accurate the hole is for the pin doesn't really make any difference, because as long as you've got the hole with the adapter and the shaft all lined up straight, makes no difference really what angle that roll pin is at. So I hope this video has helped somebody install one of these. And of course, if you got any questions, you can always write me and I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day.